Hi everybody, my name is Ingrid Rodriguez. I'm a somatic psychotherapist, and I wanted to share with you some of the struggles I've been going through over the last month as I've tried to reconcile some different ways of thinking about the same thing. I think that in the consciousness movement, we can all agree on the idea that negative thinking patterns harm us, whether it's, like limiting beliefs, let's say, right? Limiting beliefs, they affect your health, they affect your relationships, they increase stress levels. Like, we can all agree that's true. I think that what's a little different is how we approach raising consciousness or raising our vibration or immersing ourselves in spirituality. How do we deal with the mind that wants to be active or that has all these negative thoughts and that creates pain for us. And so, over the last month, I've been really immersing myself in spiritual teachings and watching like a lot of YouTube videos about spirituality and just these different perspectives and trying to put them all together and see like, so what's out there, and and what's right for me. And so, Eckhart Tolle talks about like quieting the mind by anchoring in the body. And so in my meditation practice, I've been anchoring in the body, and I've found that over time, my mind doesn't feel more quiet. And in fact, I feel like almost, I don't want to say more negative, but I feel like I feel the same negativity that I have sort of in my day-to-day. And so what I want to say about that is that for me, a lot of the negative thinking and these limiting beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about the world, originate from wounds that we have incurred early on in our lives. So, for example, a child that is rejected by his or her parents or by peers will maybe maybe come to the conclusion that they're not lovable, they're unworthy, those kinds of things. And those are the things that kind of spin around in most people's thoughts. I think we can all agree that that many of us have these things, if not all of us. And so in thinking about it from the perspective of the body, right? Because I think that a lot of the spiritual teachings like kind of leave the body out of it. They're like, well, you can release these thoughts, release toxicity, just kind of let it go. And it feels really neat and attractive and seductive, to be honest with you. I love neat. And so that sounds really good to me. Like, wow, what if I could just let it go and not have it be all messy and gross and like complex. But the truth is that what I'm finding is like, I wanna be able to like, the toxicity's there, right? Because we've all been wounded. So why not just like work with it? Why not like amplify it? Why not get into it? And right, the other thought is not only like let's move toward it, and let's move toward it with like compassion. Like, obviously you're having these negative thoughts because you got hurt at some point in your journey. And if you got hurt, like, let's see if there's a need there. Let's see if we can love that part a little bit more. I feel like that's really important to say. The other piece that it's related to that is like, I think another thing that we can all agree on as people who are seeking to raise their vibration or raise their consciousness is that we all want to love ourselves more. And how can we love ourselves if we're judging a piece of our experience as like, well, this is negative thinking and I want to get rid of that. So let's just like dump it, or let's get rid of it. Let's push it down. Let's pretend it's not there. Let me just embrace these like loving thoughts. Let me just open my heart. And I'm like, awesome if you can do it, but I feel like when we try to excise or remove or ignore or put aside any part of ourselves, then we're not loving all of ourselves. We are judging. These thoughts are good. These positive thoughts are great. Even the language, right? Positive thinking, negative thinking. We're putting a value on it and saying we want this, but we don't want that. So in that, we are rejecting a part of our human experience, because part of our experience is dealing with our own negativity and healing it through our bodies. That's something that I feel really passionate about, and that's the conclusion that I've come to after feeling really confused over the last month about these spiritual teachings and how do they fit in with the philosophy of the body. And dealing with the body is really messy. Like, healing early emotional wounding is super messy. Owning your negativity is super messy. And while it's not sexy or seductive, it's really real, because we all experience it. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you, is really like, have all of your feelings, right? Like, women, have your anger. Men, have your vulnerability, you know? And I say that in sort of these gendered terms because, you know, men often don't get to be vulnerable and loving and tender, and women don't get to, we're not socialized to have our anger and to say no. And so we want to say, well, I don't feel the anger, I want to forgive, and those are really great ideas, but like, let's get into the real stuff. And so that's what I'm wanting to offer today in this talk, and also as part of my practice. It's just like, let's just have all of it. All of it's here. All of it is you. All of it is human. It's universal. So let's not pretend it's not there. Okay? So thank you for watching this, and yeah, we'll see each other soon again. Bye.